Entrepreneur's Journal, edition 006, week commencing the 23rd of March 2026. It's funny how quickly things can feel off track, even when you're actually winning. That was the theme of this week. At the start of it, the mood in the team wasn't quite right. Targets had been missed, and you could feel the frustration in the room. Everyone was working hard, heads down, focused on what was in front of them, but something wasn't clicking. It's one of those situations where the effort is there, but the feeling is that you're behind. When that happens, it's easy for people to turn inwards. Less talking, more pressure, more frustration. So instead of pushing harder, we stopped and opened it up. I encouraged the team to talk to each other properly, to say what was frustrating them and actually listen. No defensiveness, no ego, just honesty. Because most of the time, the issue isn't the work itself, it's the lack of communication around it. As the week went on, I could see something the team couldn't. From a step back, looking at the numbers and the bigger picture, we were actually on track. By Friday, it was clear we had hit the month's target. Not just recovered, achieved what we set out to do. But the team didn't feel like that. They were still stuck in the small misses, the day-to-day pressures, the things that hadn't gone quite right. When we pointed it out, the mood shifted almost instantly. You could feel the relief, the energy came back, perspective changed everything, and Neil said they might have lost a few battles, but they were winning the war. And the interesting part is, I did exactly the same thing myself. At the same time all this was going on, we signed a 5-year lease on our HMOs, something I've been working towards for about 4 months. A lot of calls, a lot of emails, a lot of chasing, and plenty of dead ends along the way. Steph rang me with the news, and my reaction, flat. A quick, that's good, and straight back into whatever I was dealing with at the time. No pause, no reflection, no real acknowledgement. I was too focused on everything else that needed doing. It wasn't until later that evening, when things slowed down a bit, that I actually stopped and thought about it. Took it in properly, and that's when it hit me. This was a big step forward, not just financially, but strategically. These HMOs have now shifted from being time heavy, management intensive properties into something far more stable. Less income on paper, but no bills. No tenant turnover, no day-to-day involvement. In reality, more profitable and far less draining. That's the part of what I call building the financial fortress, moving from fast, noisy income into something slower, steadier, and more predictable. But I nearly missed the win completely, exactly like the team. As we moved towards the end of the month and the end of the financial year, the usual pressures started to build around cash flow. On paper, everything can look good, but in reality it's a different story. Checking accounts morning and afternoon, moving money around, delaying certain spends, making sure everything lines up. It's not glamorous, but it's real. It's also something that we've now tightened up, putting better structure in place around forecasting and budgeting, so we're not relying on reactive decisions when things get tight. One thing that made a huge difference to me over the last couple of years is how I structure my weeks. Every Sunday I sit down and I plan out what I call Sunday sanity. I look at the bigger picture first, the quarterly goals, the key things that actually move the needle, and then I'll break it down into what needs to happen that week. Before I started doing this, I was completely reactive, dealing with whatever came up in the moment, usually urgent but not important. It felt busy, but it wasn't moving anything forward in any meaningful way. Now it's different, it's more like setting a destination and following a route. You still get delays, diversions, and the odd wrong turn, but you know where you are heading and you can course correct. It's made me far more energized, and more importantly, far less anxious. What stood out most this week wasn't the deals or the numbers, it was the fact that both teams and I fell into the same trap. Focusing so much on what wasn't going right or what hadn't been done yet that we completely overlooked what had actually been achieved. And that is a dangerous place to be, because perception drives behaviour. If you believe you're behind, you act like you're behind even when you're not. Sometimes the biggest shift isn't performance, it's perspective. By the end of the week, when I stepped back properly, it was clear a lot had moved forward. The team had hit their goals. The leases were secure. Progress had been made on multiple fronts, but none of that feels real unless you stop long enough to recognize it. That's something I'm getting better at, but still working on. What this week taught me. Sometimes the issue isn't performance, it's how you're looking at it. Communication solves more than pressure ever will. And if you don't stop to recognize your wins, you'll always feel like you're chasing something you're already achieved. I'm Tom Dias, director of Nispec First, Parts of Pickups, Gilsfield Road Garage, and I'm a property investor. If this resonates with you, feel free to forward it to another entrepreneur who might enjoy it.